Good evening, everybody. I know we're coming a little late. It's 7:30 on a Monday night. Chris he's got to get Dylan ready for school, so he had one of those days today. Here he is. They're walking through the door, making a big entrance. Late, yep, see? You know, just like the other day, Saturday, Michelle and I were at a party, and the black folk came late to the party. The token black family was late to the party.
Sorry, America.
You know, come on, everybody's waiting for us. You know, we've teased them. We've given them a couple of good weeks of some good information.
Yes.
This week we've got some great stuff.
Great information.
Great information.
Oh my God.
I mean,
call me right now, America.
What's that? You busy?
No, I told you, call me right now.
So what I did, I just want to I don't know if I've done this before, but I want to do this because I think I don't know that you've ever had one of these. And this is a black and white cookie. And you've never had a black and white. I know we've talked about this.
I've seen them.
But you've seen them. This is a black and white cookie for my Jewish friends, okay? Everybody, you know, because it is kind of something that we used to get at the Jewish deli. And what I want to know is, because I know like what I used to do, is which side of the cookie would you eat first? And most people would, and usually a lot of times when we were at people's houses, okay, and they would, instead of cutting the cookie in half, this way, and I'm not gonna touch it because I know you won't eat it. So what most people do they would cut the cookie this way so that you'd have half black and white and half black and white. But most people didn't want to eat the white side. They always wanted to eat the dark side, chocolate side.
Isn't that beautiful?
Well, because chocolate does taste better, and white and white is kind of boring, you know.
Yeah,
it's kind of blah. So you know, that's just a little cookie for you there.
Thank you so much.
Little black and white cookie.
Black and white together.
Black and white cookie. Now, there's a lot going on, and the obvious again, still the shootings that happened last week. The one shooter we're learning more about in El Paso drove 700 miles, knew what he was doing, clear. Go ahead.
I'm here to kill Mexico.
So no mental illness there.
Now,
okay, ready? Go ahead. Because you told this to me today. This guy made a clear, concise sentence, and his sentence structure was crystal clear.
Yes.
And I don't think somebody with mental illness would have had that much sentence.
Subject, noun, verb, period.
Right. So he drove 700 miles to do damage. Now, the Dayton shooter killed, and I just found out about this the other day, which I wasn't really reading up much, and just saw this, was that he killed his own sister. Killed his own sister. And they show him in a video casing the joint and walking around and what he was going to do.
Video game.
So I don't know, you know, it has to be the video games. And there's now studies being done whether video games really does cause a person to be violent.
Somebody else about to be a millionaire.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah, somebody's going to put together some program right now. Oh, hey, everybody. Somebody's going to put
Tommy Alexander joining us. My cousin Suzanne joining us.
Yeah, somebody's going to put in something.
Robert Parisi joining us.
Come up with some weirdo curriculum saying they got some studies saying that video games make you violent. It was much better back in the day when you couldn't play video games with some weirdo all the way across the world. You had to sit next to your competitor and play against them.
Right. Now, did Pong make us violent? You know, when you had that the ball going across the screen? No, that didn't.
I thought the game must have been Gallagher.
Now, Mrs. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, did that make you violent?
No, Adam Weiner.
Adam Weiner joining us. Pac-Man didn't make you violent. Pinball machines.
I used to hit that thing pretty hard.
You tilted it. You know?
I remember. Oh man, I remember those days at the open park when we did Grand Prix race around the playing pinball at a high level.
Oh yeah,
Gallagher, the little space.
Oh game. My God, that was great when you killed the one ship to get the other ship.
Space invaders.
So you had a double ship shooting them. Yeah,
made me crazy.
Made you nuts. Made you just want to kill things.
Woo!
I just wanted to kill stuff.
Yes.
Now, on a sad note, and because you said movie theater, It just reminded me, and you know this place, but anyway,
Yes.
the Mercedes movie theater on University Drive.
Yes.
And for those Florida residents, when those grew up in South Florida, the Mercedes theaters are kind of iconic. And for me, I went on my first date at that movie theater, saw Rocky in 1976.
That was the white theater. We weren't allowed out there.
Yes, you were. Come on. You had Sunrise Strip right there. You had the little hood there.
We went there.
Come on.
Florida Lakes Mall. We went to Lakes Mall to the mall and Movie City 10 on Oakland Park. We were not allowed at some freaking Mercedes. Hey, beautiful. Mercedes. What?
It was Mercedes Theaters. It was on University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard.
I didn't go past University until I was 21.
Oh, really?
You're petrified.
Oh, wow.
You people are crazy.
So the theater's being torn down, making room for new stuff to go in. What's that?
What's my news?
Oh, that's your news. Jeffrey Epstein. All right, I guess we got to go there. We got to talk. We got to talk about it.
All the conspiracies are there.
Well, I want to see a body. They didn't show a body.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a body. I want to see an autopsy. I want to see the mental illness. I want to see where this guy had CTE of the brain.
Oh, God.
Like these football players, you know.
Supposedly he had a roommate and just all of a sudden he was on
and then,
suicide watch.
And then his roommate got moved out. Amazing how the roommate got just moved out all of a sudden. Now, look, okay, there's talk about the Clintons. Yeah. There's talk about even Obama.
There's some Trump stuff
in there. Now, the thing about Clinton, though, supposedly, and this is what I read, and again, you can't believe everything that you read, but supposedly Clinton went on the Lolita, the jet of Epstein, without he disabled his Secret Service detail.
I'm going to say this, man.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's obvious that there are some sick people in this world.
There's definitely some sick people.
And it's obviously Mr. Epstein knew a lot of these sick people.
Oh, of course he did.
And I have a problem on several levels because now they got me. I want to see some investigation. Because if you're a sick pedophile and you're in Congress making laws for me, that's scary. That's scary to me.
Now, can they still bring him to trial after death, okay, and bring all these people as witnesses and let them tell their stories? Like, is Michael Moore all of a sudden going to come and do a documentary and find all these victims?
The victims are coming out because they're getting the money. Epstein's gone out, so now I have nothing to worry about because my accuser is gone. The guy that had the big cloud over me, he's gone now. So now, let's get the money up and get me up out of here.
I mean, the guy is pretty sick.
Yeah, he's sick people. Kill all of them, actually.
Well, I mean, look, he was friends with Prince Andrew.
Yeah, I saw some big names.
Some big names.
But the thing is, he's gone now.
No, he's gone.
Did
they put him underground? Is he really dead?
Pre-made.
Is he really dead?
I don't think so.
This is a billionaire. A billionaire. Now, 66 years old, okay? Mm-hmm. They say he was going to do 40 years in prison at minimum, okay? Which would have put him at 106. He was never going to see the light of day again. So versus go through all the humiliation of a trial, I can see here, could he have written a new will in prison? And would we see who he left?
Well, if he's on suicide watch, he shouldn't have a pen or pencil in there. He might stab himself. Can't have any of that.
I still want to know how he committed suicide.
They haven't told us that he hung himself.
That's right. They haven't said how he committed suicide.
This is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
America, this is embarrassing.
America, we've reached an all-new low at this point, I believe.
I know so.
We have.
I know so.
Because was the president going to be implicated in some of this stuff?
Well, he already started.
I mean, look, he's a pervert. Yeah. Trump is a pervert.
He already tweeted about it.
And he's done a lot of work in China. Okay, and we know about all the youth in China. Okay, and he spent a lot of time in Asia.
I want to just throw some victims. Those are the ones that's going to turn this around.
Well, the problem is, have the victims now been threatened that if you come forward, you're gonna learn the same fate as Mr. Epstein.
And that island thing, they already done quarantined places and put bleach all over the place and got rid of fingerprints and stuff. So we'll never know who's out there.
Never.
It'll be speculation forever.
Forever.
He took it to his other island, the new island that he's living on now.
All right. On another note,
Yes.
there's been a police officer in Michigan that's been suspended because he had a KKK application framed in his house with Confederate flags all over the house. Now, somebody was what's the temperature in the room? The temperature in the room is 77.
Oh, Jesus. What's up, Benjamin?
So anyway, a couple goes to look at the house. They're with their realtor. They're doing a walk.
Yeah, and they got
this guy's got Confederate flags. And they go into one of the room and they see a KKK, and it's a blank application. So obviously this guy collects KKK memorabilia.
Right.
So now, okay, if you collect baseball memorabilia, you're a baseball fan. If you collect football memorabilia, you're a football fan. If you collect basketball memorabilia, you're probably a basketball fan. But turn it up to 100 and you have a show.
Oh, Jesus, stop it. No.
Oh, geez.
Are you talking about the light back here? Is that that's
turn it up to 100, you have a show. He's just he's being comedic.
He's being Judean.
So anyway, so you walk into this guy's house, you see the KKK application. Obviously, this guy's a fan of the KKK, and he's a fan of the Confederacy. So they walk out of the house, they cut the walkthrough show short, and they talk to their agent, and the agent or the guy calls the city and says, you have an officer that has memorabilia from the Confederacy and from the KKK, and they're now suspending the guy. Suspended. But listen, is the guy, at the end of the day, does he have the right to be a collector of this memorabilia?
Of course, it's history.
It is history, but the KKK is still prevalent in this country. White supremacy is still on the rise. According to the liberals, white supremacy is at an all-time high in this country.
According to Candace Owens, it's liberalism that's killing
us. And that's a black woman. But she's light-skinned, though.
She's kind of sick.
She is good-looking, though.
But she definitely dates white guys. I see that. I could profile her.
You could?
She definitely dates white guys.
Definitely. All right. So, look, the guy's a collector. If you were to collect basketball memorabilia from the 40s and 50s, most of it's going to be white.
It's not going to be clear.
Okay, if you collected baseball material from the 30s and 40s, there were no black players.
And I can see him now explaining his memorabilia to his friends.
Well, that's the whole thing now.
Look at this, guys. This was a hood used in 1950. I got an authentic hood where they listen, brother. And this was a Mississippi hood. This was a good one. This was a good one. I mean, what are you doing?
Now, what if he had a rope? Hey, this is a rope that was used in hangings.
Well, you saw here's a video today. They reenacted a slave thing and had the kids sitting there and the lady with the fake whip. They were doing the display. Hey, you got to show history. You do have to show history. Bring it to life. You can't forget it. Never forget.
Never forget. Never forget. Now, moving this thing along.
Yeah, we're moving fast today, guys, because I was late. No biggie.
It was late. Now, this comes from the comedic stylings of Chris Priest.
Oh my God!
Because Chris tells of a story about the students that he teaches and how
Benjamin, I just did this.
The first name of the kid will dictate whether they're going to be an athlete, a doctor, like a Ben Carson. Ben Carson, very simple name. Benjamin.
Yes.
A Benjamin, good name. An athlete, an actor. You know.
I know the names.
Okay,
yes.
The names, right? And the names that usually don't make it in the world are the ones that end in what? O-U-S. Okay, so this was Saturday night here in South Florida.
Yes.
Two young men, 16 and 15. Right, stole a vehicle. Now, it was really tragic because, hey, Michael Weintraub, Will Murphy joining us.
What's up, guys?
So, two young men, 16 and 15, steal a vehicle in Lauderhill.
Okay.
They take cops on a chase. Yes. Now, one of the cops collided with a motorcyclist, so the motorcyclist died.
Yes.
All right. Now, the names of these gentlemen, all right, ready? And I hope I'm even saying this right. Yeah. Kentorius Kentorius Cody. So he's got a good last name. They, why couldn't they give this guy a really cool, like Cody is the last name, Stuart Cody or Justin Cody, Kentorius Cody. All right, his accomplice, a 15-year-old, Macarius Yanni, 15 years old. So right from watching you on Thursday night talk about your class that you taught these guys to play dominoes, your comedy coming to life.
Benjamin, if you're still listening, OUS names. I said it before. Montavious, John Quavis, Kentavious. You're either going to be a criminal or you're playing football for the Alabama Crimson Tide. There's no in between. Montavious will not be my attorney. I guarantee it. I can bet the house on it. This is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, right? I mean,
you got to do better.
Now, Jack Turmo. Hey, Jack, happy anniversary to you and Carol. 56 years
Woo!
Married. Way to go, Jack. Uncle Jack. I've known Jack since I'm like 8 years old. My
great man.
His family.
56.
Right? It's a long time. You guys are what, 20 almost?
Yeah, we're almost there.
All right, cool. All right, now this again. Gerby Myrtle, how you doing?
You talk about a conservative?
Yeah.
That's one of my Haitian brethren that are now conservative.
Now, a lot of Haitians have become conservative.
No, they are by nature.
Are they by nature?
I mean,
you would think
don't
that
believe in men messing with men. They definitely don't do the gay thing.
No, the Haitian community.
Islanders, period. Don't do gay.
In Haiti too, my dad used to go to Haiti years
ago. There he is. I got all the brethren out there.
Haiti, if you get caught stealing, like back in the Papa Doc days, they would cut fingers off.
They don't
right
do
in
that.
Public. And
so that's why I tell people, a lot of my brothers from the islands are naturally, they won't say it. They're Republican almost. I mean, they don't like gays. They don't want no handouts. They work hard. They're Christian.
Yeah, but you couldn't tell that by looking at the island of Haiti.
No, they all left. And came over here and got rich.
Is that what happened? Well, they all became roofers.
Not all of them.
A lot of them.
They cooked.
Well, there's a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of Haitian lawyers, yeah. A lot of Haitian.
That second generation is, they loaded.
They're loaded.
First generation came to work hard. Second generation went to college.
Well, they're smart.
They're smart people.
All right. Again, one of those things that we hear in Florida, it happens. And school starting back up, and you knew someone was going to be upset.
Tell her that.
All right. So this is it happened in Lake Worth, Florida, right here up the road. A Lake Worth mom upset over new school attendance boundaries, reportedly threatened to shoot up her children's new school. All their kids go to private schools.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
So 28-year-old Miranda Perez was not happy when she heard her children would have to switch schools. So unhappy, in fact, she threatened to shoot up the children's new school, Barton Elementary, days before the school year began. Perez, 28, was arrested Sunday afternoon on intimidation charge for reportedly threatening a mass shooting. She is being held in custody so she can, ready for this? Undergo a mental health evaluation.
Everybody crazy.
She was crazy because her kids were being sent to another school.
But she wasn't that crazy because she knew the boundaries were different. See, as a guy that's worked with mentally ill people in schools, I know what mentally ill is. You just can't keep throwing that word around every time that's going to be the new catchphrase. Gerby. Toto, every time somebody do something stupid, I'm mentally ill. Any of them gangbangers in Chicago mentally ill? They do drive-bys every day. I've never heard mentally ill. There's gangsters. They crowding us. Hardened crowd. They gotta be mentally ill to me. You joining a gang?
Now she is pretty sick though. If you read on about this, a man. Now here, and because. This was, this is what's going on in society. And I watched an interview of one of these young social media guys, and they were talking about how, the monitoring of Facebook, the monitoring of Instagram, the monitoring of all the social media. And when you have 5 billion people on social media, how do you monitor it? And one of the things that this guy brought out is that we as individuals have to start doing some self-monitoring. We have to be willing to call in. So that's what happened here. So a man contacted sheriff's authorities on Sunday morning after video chatting through Facebook with Perez. He told deputies that Perez was upset her children would be attending a different elementary school this year, and mentioned she wanted to friend Zachary Cruz on Facebook because she likes violent things.
Good job.
She also referenced Cruz's older brother, Nicholas Cruz, who admitted to killing 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Lock her up.
The man said after they hung up, Perez messaged him saying, "I'm thinking of doing a school shooting at Barton."
Oh, great. Great.
So, you know, she's in jail now, and she's going to go through some mental health evaluations.
And she'll be able to go buy a gun from Walmart.
And that's the crazy part. Now, will she be on the FBI's watch list? Fred Dumbrow joining us. Hey, Fred, we need your tourmaline down here. We got that. We got that red tide again and all that other stuff. Lock her up. 100%. She should totally be locked up. This woman should never see the light of day again.
Man, I'm tired of that already. Stop that word. Please stop.
Now, in keeping up with this whole the Dayton shooting, the El Paso shooting, some students at Columbine High School, where this kind of all started.
Yeah.
All right. My cousin Kim joining us. Hey, Kim. Kaylee Turner, she just graduated. They've started this movement, mylastshot.org. And what you do is they're encouraging students or people, and I mean, I guess anybody can do this, placing a sticker on your license or cell phone. In the event I die from gun violence, please publicize the photo of my death, #MyLastShot.
Oh, hell no.
And then you sign it.
I'm good. So
now they're doing this in kind of memory of Emmett Till, who was one of the students that was killed during the Columbine shooting, and how his photo went. You know, they publicized his photo.
Emmett Till's the black guy from Mississippi.
He is.
Long time ago, they killed the brother. Him and the two Jewish guys were riding together. They killed him. The hell you talking about Emmett Till?
That's Emmett Till?
Yeah!
They were talking about Emmett Till like he was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, so the article was confusing. But anyway, did they have a shot of him when he was dead?
Emmett Till was killed by Mississippi. Yeah, the mom made him open the casket so the world could see.
Oh, okay.
Christ,
so there you go.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know that.
Emmett Till. First and foremost, Matt, you should have put it together. There's no Emmets in Columbine.
That's
in Colorado.
Okay. All right, so I didn't know that. See, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. That's why we're the Irregulars.
That's why we're the Irregulars.
Freaking Emmett.
Well, it didn't say that in the article.
No, but I don't want to.
They were paying tribute to Emmett Till.
I don't want any
like he was from
memorials.
Columbine.
I want any memorials. I want any of that crap.
So what are your thoughts on that? Putting a sticker so that you're
I'm gonna publicize. I got.
If you're shot in a mass shooting,
somebody's gonna go buy some more guns anyway. It's not gonna. We got a short memory in America right now. Douglas, boom, over. This is over. El Paso will be.
What was the nightclub? The nightclub.
Orlando.
Right.
Man, we'll stop talking about this stuff by next week.
The Virginia Beach shooting.
We'll be on something else by next week.
The Garlic Festival.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just happening.
It's just happening, and we're just numb now. And it's well, it's just happened.
Wayne Sears joining us. Hey, Wayne.
And it's sad that we've gotten to a point in America where it's just like, oh well. Oh, another one's dead. Oh God, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Well, it's funny because when they interviewed the El Paso mayor, and he's like, okay, keep sending the prayers.
Not for me. My kids gone. My siblings gone. Whoever I lost. If I'm in El Paso and I just lost somebody, that's the last thing I want to hear right now.
Now, there was a picture of the president and the first lady holding the baby, and President Trump giving a thumbs up.
And he's talking about the big crowds.
Right.
How
big the crowds were at his rally. I just don't get it. Hey, home team.
What's up, buddy? I'm at a point now. I just shrug my shoulders. You don't know what he's gonna say, man. You don't know what the hell Trump gonna say from day to day. I just shrugged and it just crossed my fingers that he doesn't say anything crazy. But he will say something crazy.
Oh, it's guaranteed. Or he'll tweet something out that you scratch your head and you're saying, oh, what else can be? Look, the farmers are in big trouble because China just said, we're not buying any more of your stuff. We're not buying any more. Yeah. We're done.
Oh. So
now the farmers, we got to bail out the farmers, and all these farmers voted for Trump. Is he going to lose the farmers?
That's my president. It's forgotten America. Forgotten America. It's still forgotten, homie.
Are there any new factories been opening lately?
Oh, God, no. Coal miners?
No. Are we manufacturing any?
Coal?
What are we manufacturing?
I remember that.
We don't manufacture anything.
But and again, I just left vacation. I drove through all that crap. There's some bad places in America. Oh my God! Oh, the potholes in the highway. Could you imagine driving on I-95 and potholes are there? That's what's going on in Kentucky and Ohio and places like that.
Forgotten America.
Just getting on their opioids.
Oh, we were talking about that the other day.
They just lose their mind and get on their opioids.
Crazy, right?
Poor guys.
No, it's trouble.
It's sad, but
now you did do a great set the other night. People were.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, the white people love me. One white lady came up to me and said I was the talk of the bathroom. That was in Boca Raton.
Now, what does that mean? You're the talk of the bathroom. The white women were sizing you up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder what that chocolate tastes like.
I know. I don't dip in vanilla. That's nah.
But you're funny though, because you wait. But hold on a second, because you kind of fuel it a little bit.
Yeah.
You give them the line, "I'm single till midnight."
Yeah.
You know, and then you give them hope.
I give them hope. They were there with their little man. They were all there with a man. I was just.
Now, how many of them, honey? Oh, I would love. Can I just try a black man once?
I know for a fact.
Because you've influenced. Look, you've even shared this with me. That you even influenced a white family to move out of here and move to Utah because their son came home and said, what?
He wanted to be black.
Because black was?
The black people are cool. He wanted to be like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Mr. Priester.
So your white child comes home and says, I want to be black because black people are cool. And you decide to pick up the family and move to Utah.
The winter home is now the permanent home, baby. We're gone. We're gone. I'm away from this man. But it's sad. Hey, I tell people all the time, it's all. I know some of those white women were sitting there staring at me like, Jesus Christ. If I did go chocolate, it would be that guy. But I don't.
Well, because you're one of those guys. See, you actually, when you introduce yourself, you actually kind of break the barrier. You know, you make them feel comfortable because he doesn't have a record. He hasn't been in jail, so our jewelry is safe. He's married to the same woman, so he's not philandering around. He's not one of those guys that has 7 kids with 5 different women.
You guys do it all the time, and you just call me an ex-wife. We call her my baby mama. You guys get along with your ex-wife. I'm not going to sit here and take this abuse. Because I can take you out east, out the last point, and show you plenty of dads that just write a check. Sure. Hell, haven't seen the kid at all.
Well, that's the mom's fault, I think.
Oh, God, yeah. It turns into
because I think there was somebody shared something about it today about a mom. School was starting and the dad wasn't getting to see the kid at all.
Yeah, but
look, I have something in my own. Look, Michelle Kaplan joined us, my lovely girlfriend. But even with my own kids, okay. And I got to tell you something. I got a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old and a 31-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, now my 31-year-old grown man lives in Asheville. Self-sufficient, does his own thing. Happy kid. Frank Rita joining us. Hey, Frank, happy retirement, by the way. Sorry we missed the party, but my 18 and 20-year-old, they're home. The 20-year-old's going back to his junior year at Penn State. The 18-year-old's off to college at the end of the month to New York.
Yes, sir.
How many times do you think I've seen the 20-year-old all summer? Once. How many times do you think I've seen the 18-year-old all summer?
Twice, because you have to pay for something.
Twice.
But the moms do that. I mean,
and I look, their mom definitely has them.
I'm gonna say this as a guy that used to teach and see it all the time.
Go ahead.
If the woman has, and God forbid if she's got different baby daddies, there has to be a dynamic where you treat somebody differently based upon how you like the dad.
True.
And sooner or later, those kids are going to get older and make a decision, and they're either going to use it for leverage or they're going to start just bashing, saying, "Oh, dad left us, and he's no good." La, la, la. And the mom's going to sit there and fuel it. Say, "Yeah, your dad ain't shit. Yeah, your dad's lazy. Yeah, blah, blah, blah." And next thing you know, the kids believe in that crap.
Oh, yeah.
And dad's been great. Dad's been paying his money. Dad's been doing what he's supposed to do.
Lisa joining us. Hey, Lisa.
All they know, he left mama. He's bad man. Bad man. He left mama. Mama don't tell the whole story why he left. But he bad guy. He left us. Bad guy. Sad.
Now, school started today in Palm Beach County.
Thank God, Palm Beach, smart place.
Well, but there's a little uproar in Palm Beach County because they're going to start even earlier next year.
Ooh.
And people are just up in arms. And the school board did not listen to anything that the parents had to say and just brushed it off and said, "Okay, talk about no democracy. You'll just do what we tell you to do.
Yeah.
And your kids are going to start when we tell them to start."
And Brown County starts Wednesday, right in the middle of the week.
They got a couple extra days.
Yeah, and then
I think Miami-Dade starts on next Monday.
And then we'll be taking off immediately for our Jewish holidays.
Right, September. You got Labor Day. That's all right. Why don't we just start after Labor Day? Doesn't make sense.
No, we got to get our holidays off by our Jewish friends. We love you guys.
Yep.
2% of the population, 100% of the days off. Gotta love the Jewish community.
Maria DiPietro joining us.
Look at all these beautiful people just chiming
in tonight. A lot of good stuff going on.
This is beautiful.
Bachelor in Paradise is in full swing. You ever catch that show?
I heard about it. I don't do those bachelor shows.
Not worth watching.
It's so tacky.
It's so tacky.
It just shows.
How do you fall in love? I mean, well, I guess you can.
Yeah, because you know he's loaded. First off, he's got money, but it just shows the thirst of the woman. You got 30, 20 women fighting over one guy. That's disgusting. But we had that big discussion. Matter of fact, I just had a discussion today on another person's page. Yeah. We're going to leave on this note, America. Has society changed?
Hi, Antina.
Has society changed the way we view women and men? Because 30 years ago, if a man has a lot of women.
Tom walks better doing us. Hey, Tom.
If a man has a lot of women, he's a gigolo.
Yeah.
He's a pimp.
He's a player. Player.
If a girl has a lot of
men, she's a slut.
She's a slut.
Or a whore.
Now today, with our movement, and our strong women, and our feminist movement, hey, what's wrong with me getting my rocks off just like the men do?
Nothing wrong with it. What's good for one should be what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Equal.
Right? Equal.
That's one thing I'm down for equal opportunity. You want to be a whore, men and women. Whore away if you want to be one. It is equal now.
Right, but don't come crying when people are labeling you in the community. Oh, she sleeps around.
Oh no, I'm strong.
Right.
I can do what I want to do.
Right. He sleeps around and it's okay.
Yeah. That's our society.
All right. A couple of things because I know we always talk about our pets. You know, you don't have any, but we have Ella.
That's white people.
And look, just the white people. No goose, no gander.
That's right.
Just whatever you want to do, right, Lisa?
Yeah, let it go.
Let it go. See, and I listen, ready? I'm all for that. If a woman wants to go have her fun, just be protected, be safe. Yeah. If you don't fall in love, just have it be for fun.
The problem.
That is the problem.
See, they don't think they can.
No.
Women can't do that.
No, because of the emotions. There's very few women that are going to able to handle because they are emotional creatures.
Yes.
And men are too, but men, look.
It's hard to explain. Don't get in trouble. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. Things we learn from our dogs, and each week I'm just going to read off a couple. Look, we have to do a public service here.
Oh, God.
Never pass up the opportunity to go for a joyride, right? You open that car door, where's the dog? That dog is running right in.
Don't look at me. Look at your white friends for this.
All right, white friends.
You don't touch dogs. That's disgusting.
Allow the experience of fresh air and the wind in your face to be pure ecstasy.
About the vomit.
When loved ones come home, always run to greet them.
Let me guess, you guys share dog food together too.
No.
Good stuff.
No. No. Now, on one last note, because we do have to talk about this, because we do talk about sports a little bit, and the first week of the NFL season, preseason didn't tell us a thing, which never does, right? I mean, if you're especially if you're a Dolphins fan, all right. But Antonio Brown lost his grievance today with the NFL over his helmet issue, the helmet that he's been wearing for 10 years. And they wouldn't certify it because it is 10 years old, and that's what he said. He said he survived the hit by Vontaze Burfict, the maniac on the Cincinnati Bengals, psycho, mental health for sure. All right. And he survived that hit, and he's comfortable wearing the helmet, but he didn't wear booties on his feet to save his feet from freezing in the cryo. Yes. And he still has frostbite on his feet, so he still can't practice. So it doesn't matter what helmet he's wearing. Next time, put booties on your feet when you go into the cryo chamber. Cryo chamber.
For the highest paid receiver in the league. Wow. You didn't get hurt from getting hit by somebody.
Right.
You're in a freaking cryo chamber and your feet froze.
Because you didn't put the booties on. Because I've been into the cryo
My son is taking it.
You have to put the booties on.
My son has been in there.
You have to put the booties on. You have to wear the gloves, because your hands and your feet are the most susceptible. No, it's not. Wait, one of them, Loren Robinson, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, owns a cryotherapy place in Pembroke Pines.
Notice who you said he played for the Cowboys. Those are the only Negroes that are going to be doing that stuff.
Helen Smith joining us. Hey, Helen.
Come on.
Well, you guys don't like the cold.
No.
You hate the cold. The only reason why there's black people in the Northeast is because they hated the hot in the South, and they were able to get out of the South. Right? Come on.
And sitting there with your dog list. Guys, always remember the most integrated. If you ever want to be away from black people, just go to the dog park.
All right, and we're gonna end the show on our black and white cookie. Go ahead. Pull your our black and white cookie. And notice I'm leaving the paper on it because I know Chris will not touch it. We don't touch other people's food. There's our black and white cookie. So wait, which piece are you going to take, the black or the white?
Oh, I'm going to eat the hell out of that white piece. I'm going to eat that white piece, baby. I'm going to leave the darkie.
Hey, Helen Smith, how you doing?
I'm going to eat that white piece, baby.
So there's your black and white cookie. Now, it is pretty good. I mean, it's tasty. It's a little dry. You definitely have to have a glass. Sure. You got to have a glass of milk with the black and white cookie.
It's a Judean cookie. It's a little dry.
It is. All right. Well, that was 38 minutes, guys, of pure bliss.
I had to take care of my kid.
Yes.
Being a good daddy.
Being a good daddy.
You should have seen all the daddies in there. They look so obvious, the ones who are like picking their kid up on an off day and shit to get the haircut.
Oh, yeah, Gina, right? Yeah, I'm cutting into my dominoes right now. Right now. All right, everybody. I'm Matt Posner. We're the Irregulars. Peace. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Monday night.